Welcome to Costa Rica Story, and it's been a while since I've done a video. I've just got back from the United States, my little whirlwind trip there, and got my passport renewed, took care of some business there in the United States, and saw some family and friends that I hadn't seen in a long time, and now I'm back home here in Costa Rica. And surprisingly, it kind of throws you out of whack to go there and then come back here and try to just resume your life here. And I mean, it's for a lot of reasons, but mainly because it's a different country, and it was shades of my old life back there, and I saw the things that I missed, and I saw the things that made me want to move to Costa Rica, and it reinforced that I made the right decision to move here to Costa Rica. So the trip itself was an interesting little sojourn. It takes me a little over 3 hours to get from Uvita to San Jose Airport. And then I flew in from San Jose Airport to Miami, that was over just a little over 3 hours. And then I flew from Miami to JFK in New York City, and that's just over 3 hours. And then I had to drive upstate to my old hometown, and that's 3.5, 4 hours normally, but there's some construction in New York City like there always is. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning when I was there, so I thought I would miss the traffic, but I didn't. And one thing that happened to me too, when I got to New York City, I got off the plane, I got my rent-a-car, got my little GPS unit out that I was going to navigate with because I don't have cellular service in the States. So I got my little GPS unit, a nice Garmin, and I got that hooked up, and I put my information into it. I wanted to go upstate, and it told me I was in Uvita. I'm like, wait, no, I want directions from JFK, not from Uvita. And like 20 minutes went by, and it didn't load the right maps. So I was kind of like, there's no way I'm going to drive without a map through there, because I just don't know the area. So I went back into the rental company. It's 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight or something like that. And I said, excuse me, do you have any road maps? And she just says, no, we don't have road maps. And then I mean, that's New York City for you. I mean, it was like, no, sorry, but it was like, no, we don't have road maps. Looked at me like I was an idiot. So by that time, the road maps had started to kick in a little bit. I think it just had to sync up with the satellites. So I did get my GPS working, and it did take me safely upstate. So I was happy about that. I didn't even make any wrong turns. So it was kind of a miraculous thing. And I had a few glitches in the airport. I was in Miami, and I had a really short time to make my connecting flight, and I have the American Airlines app counting down how, when my plane starts loading and departs and all that. And I'm in a really long line at customs, so it was kind of nerve-wracking, but I was getting towards the end. I'm going, okay, it's not going to be so bad. So then I get through customs, and that's no problem, and you move your suitcases to another belt, and then they go on to New York City. So then after that, I'm trying, okay, how do I get to the gate I need to get to? So I'm following the crowds around, and I asked a woman, a woman that works there, I said, how do I get to my gate? And she says, you just keep going forward, really vague. And I'm half asleep, and she says, go forward. So I go forward, and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be. So I saw a woman on the other side of these sliding doors that looked like she knew what she was talking about. So I kind of tentatively went over there, and I went through the sliding doors, and I kind of felt like I shouldn't have done that, which I shouldn't have. So I went through there, and I asked her, how do I get to gate that I needed to get to? And she said, oh, honey, why did you go through the door? I go, what? She goes, you have to go through the security checkpoint again. So I had to run up to security and go through. First I had to find security again. So I had to go up an elevator and go through the line, and I'm sitting there in line. It's another huge line. And I'm thinking to myself, can I try to ask people to let me go ahead? I go, no, this is an airport. You don't people don't let anybody go ahead. You just have to take your chances. So I'm like, took a few breaths and just went through and hoped things went well, and it did. And I did make my plane in just in time. And another glitch that happened to me on the way back, it was totally my fault. And it's partially due to the fact that I got hardly any sleep this whole trip. But I'm getting ready to depart JFK. I drove my rent-a-car all the way down. I left like at midnight, and it was about like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and about 4 to 5 when I'm getting into American Airlines. I wait in a long line, and I'm getting there with my bags. Get my bags up there, ready to check them in to go to my next leg of my flight on the way to San Jose. And she says, "You have a onward ticket?" I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot about that," because they relaxed all the COVID stuff. So I'm like, "Oh, I don't have to worry. There's nothing I have to worry about." But you have to have if you're a perpetual tourist, you have to show proof that you're leaving the country in 3 days. And I didn't have that. So I had to leave the line and go buy an onward ticket, that was leaving in 90 days, which I did. And I got back in line, and as I got closer to the line, the woman recognized me, and she pulled me up front and let me go ahead. So that was good. But that was just a bonehead move on my part to not have that. But it's getting so the travel is so casual, you don't really get, you don't get that sense of like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. You just kind of like, oh, I'm going, kind of, which isn't a good thing. I need to get more focused. And yeah, other than that, it was a pretty smooth trip. And I stayed at this place called Margarita's Guest House. I didn't stay there, my car stayed there. So I parked my car at Margarita's Guest House, and it's $25 for a week. And it was less than a week, but it was still $25. But the weekly rate is $25, and that's in Aluea, and it's convenient to the airport. A ride to the airport from there in a taxi is $3 mil to $5 mil, depending on what driver you get, because I was charged $5 mil by the guy that took me to the airport, and like $3.5 mil from the guy that brought me back. I ended up giving him a tip anyway, so it equaled out. They both got $5 mil. But Margarita's Guest House is a really cool place. You can stay there. They have rooms there, and she's such a sweet lady. I can't wait to go back there again, just sometime to see her, because she's so nice, and she's so nice to talk to. But yeah, that was it for my trip to New York and back. I mean, I saw friends and family. That was great, and I made the mistake of making a list. I made the mistake of making a list of things that I needed from Amazon and other places, and I kind of slowly ordered some things. I had them shipped to my sister's house, and when I got to my sister's house, she showed me this big pile of packages I had there. And granted, there's a lot of overpacking that Amazon does and other companies do. So there's boxes. There was a big pile of boxes. When I got everything broken down, it wasn't too bad, but it did take the better part of one of my suitcases to bring this stuff back, because most of it was stuff related to the YouTube channel and doing video and things like that. So that's my excuse for that. I did get some towels, because it's really hard to find good towels here, but I forgot to get clothespins, because in the US they have really good wooden clothespins, and they have wooden clothespins here, but they're not as good as the American-made clothespins. And it's funny, the little things like that you're like, wow, I miss. So next time I go to the US, I'm gonna pick up some clothespins. I had a list, and I brought the list with me. I just didn't have time to look at it. So I'm back here in Costa Rica, and I've got kind of a renewed sense of wonder. It's like, yeah, I really miss this place, and I can't wait to get doing some videos about it. So I've also got some merch. I've got some merch that I'll have in my merchandise store. I've got some hats, some bags, some cups. I got the Costa Rica story stuff done because I wanted to test the quality of the printing and the quality of the merchandise, which was really good, so I'm happy about that. So I've got some other designs I'll be unveiling if anybody's interested in some of my weird Costa Rica things. So t-shirt production is something that I think would be kind of a fun thing to dabble in, so I'm dabbling in it. When I came back from the States, I caught a little bit of a chest cold and had a runny nose and things, and it probably wasn't anything, but I self-quarantined here for 3 or 4 days just to be on the safe side. But I'm clear of any kind of sniffles now, and the burn on the side of my leg is almost healed. There's just a little tiny speck left to go, and I'll be back out in the ocean and back out playing in the dirt and doing the things that I like to do, so I'm happy about that. So when I was in the States, it was pretty warm there. It was warmer than they're used to there. But the humidity here in Costa Rica is something that you cannot replicate anywhere else. So I'm getting used to Costa Rica again and the humidity. And I'm also getting used to having my afternoon rainstorms again, like clockwork almost. So when I was in the States, I not only picked up some samples of my merch that I will be selling online here on Costa Rica Story, but I also added a few tools to my video toolbox. We'll see if I can dazzle you with that. I'm going to try to dazzle you with some technology. We'll see what happens with that. So one of the things I picked up when I was back in the States from B&H Photo was a nice monopod, because I'm shooting more video, and video is kind of, a monopod is just perfect for video. So I've got this nice monopod. The camera goes up on top here. And I thought I would add something to it. They have an accessory for this that's kind of cool. And the accessory basically turns it into a regular tripod. I mean, it's not as steady as a tripod, but it has this. It has these feet that screw on the bottom and basically turn it into kind of a tripod. But the cool thing that I really like about this, when I first put this on, I just started laughing really hard, because this thing is a formidable weapon. Not that I don't feel safe in Costa Rica, but every once in a while, you know, I've been on a deserted beach and there's been a few kind of shady looking characters walking by, and this thing, I mean, this is like a medieval mace. It's really cool. So if I'm somewhere with this thing in my possession, I feel I can handle anything. And if somebody's got a long machete or something, I can make it longer than this. But I thought this was a pretty cool thing. It's carbon fiber. It's a carbon fiber monopod with feet that are really heavy. If you hit somebody with this, they're going to be out of commission. But I mean, that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is to hold a camera or the GoPro or something. But I thought it was pretty cool. It's the hats in focus. That's the important thing. So I'm really excited about the merchandise and the shirts and things. Even though, like right now, I just have my logo. I'm really excited about my logo because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my YouTube channel, and I'm happy about what I do. Even though, funny story. Well, I'm real stoked about my logo merchandise. Even though my ex-girlfriend felt the need to chime in and tell me that nobody's interested in buying a shirt with my stupid logo on it. So I appreciate her candid opinion, but I mean, it's not going to be just my logo. I've got some cool Costa Rican ideas and designs I'll be unveiling, and if you're interested, the store will be up shortly. And if you want a shirt with my logo or a hat with my logo and prove my ex-girlfriend wrong, you can order it from the store too. Ain't love grand? Sometimes you get these little reminders why somebody in your life is an ex, and I think that was one for me. I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves, and I hope we pass the audition. Look, I am your father. Easily amused. Well, it's raining here in Costa Rica, and that's all I got for this edition of Costa Rica Story. Make sure you like if and you liked it, make sure you subscribe if and you want to. But most importantly, put them there comments down below, because I really wants to hear what you got to say. Y'all come back now, you hear? Color me easily amused. That's all I've got for this edition of Costa Rica Story. Make sure you like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, but most importantly, put those comments down below, because I really want to hear what you've got to say. Hasta luego.